Hello everyone, what is up and welcome back to our Let's Play of Laxius Power. Today we're going to go out of the fairy maze. We actually already did that last time, but whatever. We're going to leave the fairy town and we're going to do some other stuff. So we're going to see this little dialogue box again, just because we've technically never been here, because we couldn't save here. We're going to see that this is our Golithia Lake again, and this witch, if you talk to her, she will actually challenge you to a fight. Now, you can't win against her yet. She's a very good fight, like very good opponent. So don't fight her just yet, and we're just going to explore a little bit, try to collect some barrels. Is there a single barrel with good loot in it? Quite interestingly though, Random does not like stealing, but he steals the entire time. He steals so often. So you're not allowed to go in there, then why is the door open? Whatever. Now as you can see, there's a lot of decent stuff here. Quite a lot of decent weaponry. Now I don't actually want to buy any of it right now. Now there is a good reason for that, and I will explain that later. Now, first of all, we're going to go back into the fairy maze and we're actually going to complete whatever quests were left there. Because there is actually a couple of things that you can do inside the fairy maze that is quite interesting to do. Now, first of all, we're also going to be backtracking, so to speak, which means we're also going to be seeing like how you can actually get to the tree without using the teleport fairy. Now, I'm not sure if it's actually possible without the fairy at all. I just know that that's possible from multiple directions, so you don't have to start at the spot that we started. So we're going to backtrack a bit, and we're going to end up in another fight. So yeah, the random fights in this game are definitely annoying at times, because sometimes they will appear so fast after each other that you do not even have time to not trigger them. I know in the prequel game, like 3 Stars of Destiny, you actually could choose what encounter rate you wanted enemies to appear at. And you could put it at like Maniac, which is at least 10 steps until an enemy appears, or you could put it at something lower, like more steps between every encounter at least. I kind of wish more games had that, to be honest, because I really like that system. It avoids these spammy battles. Now as you can see, it says my name is Anthastir Melobu. I made the maze, you'll learn to love me. Okay. Now the way to get out of the maze is actually to just go down here to the left, and then we'll be right back here at the 2 fairies. Now this bee is actually... Oh, there's actually 2 bees. Yeah, no, there's only 1 bee. So we can escape first one. What? That is such a mean fairy. Oh, are you lost? Oh, that's funny. Haha. Thanks. Anyways, so we're going to beating these enemies again, which really is getting old by this point. But there are definitely a couple of fights that we want to be doing here, which is why we're not just leaving. Now, here is the chest that I've been trying to get, which is an amazing rapier, as it says. Which is good enough for now, and then we're going to egress back to the start of this dungeon. Why? Well, because there is something else that we need to do here. First of all, we're going to go up here. We're going to talk to this. She doesn't know where the exit is. Okay. Well, I do. And then over the left here. And that's how you're going to get the flare hat. Now, the flare hat is a good hat for Coriol. He's going to be able... Oh, he can't equip. Really? I thought he could. Who is a flare hat for, then? Luciana? Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a really good hat for Luciana. I must have confused it with something else. And then if you go around here, you can actually talk to this one. Now this is the Great Wyvern. And this Wyvern does not want you to come closer to it. Now I'm actually going to use this MP Revival just because I'm lazy and I don't want to go back. And I'm going to eat these sandwiches to heal up. And then we're going to fight the Great Wyvern. Da gubul zlet graske. Ortashramin garzar. He said that we shouldn't have disturbed him. So she's the little translator. Now this is going to be an actual dragon fight, so let's fight a dragon. Now pro tip for the dragon fight, I don't know why the music is not playing, but pro tip for the dragon fight, use Defense Up. Defense Up is legitimately the best spell there is. And you want to use Luciana's Air Cone spell, which she should learn by now. She should know it by now. If she doesn't know it, you're not ready to fight this thing. Air Cone is actually going to drain this thing of its mana, which is going to make it use physical attacks. See, it's already out of mana at this point, so that is why you want to use that spell as often as possible. Now the other reason you want to use it is because it also just drains his health, meaning if Luciana actually gets hit, she will be able to drain him of the health that the damage that she took. And that is kind of how you can make sure that nobody actually loses health in this fight. Luciana kind of just draining, and then Sarah healing the rest if it's ever needed with her spells. Now Coriol is the only one that will be taking solid damage here, and the only one that actually can't recover its own health. So you will need to use Sarah if Coriol ever gets low. That is why I spend a turn using defense up on Coriol, just so he would take a little bit less damage, so that I wouldn't have to heal his health all the time. Now this fight, in essence, is not all that difficult. It's actually pretty easy. I accidentally clicked attack instead of air cone, but whatever. In essence, this fight is actually quite easy. You just gotta hit it until it dies, like most things in most RPGs. Now, if random actually still has MP left after the initial parade, you can just use that and just use more heavy strikes. If you're really high level, that's perfectly possible. My random doesn't have MP left, so he's just going to be attacking alongside the rest. And I'm kind of just trying out different spells to see whether some spells deal more damage than others. But as you can see, this thing is actually immune to P-Blitz, so do not use P-Blitz. I would just stay... Actually, I think Paralysis actually does a lot of damage too. Not 100% sure, but I think it does. Yeah, look at that, 153 damage, actually. So that is definitely the best spell to use against this thing. Now the downside is that you won't be recovering your health, as you were earlier. So now Luciana is in danger. She might just die here. But even if she does, it's not that bad. Even if she died there, we would have been able to either revive her. And now Thorol is dead. And that is 25,000 gold. And now we're going to go down here. And this is going to be his treasury. And there is going to be 18,000 more gold. A Gooder sword, an Ornerite robe, and an Ajax ring. All this good loot for free. Now, if you were wondering, the Goodar sword is another relic. Yes, another relic. I know. It's even better than the rune sword. And then the Ajax ring is a ring that's going to boost our power even more. So Random is finally becoming the actual powerhouse that he was supposed to be. And then the Ormanor robe is just going to be better equipment for Luciana, and then you can equip this to her. So if you want to make them a bit more balanced, I think you can give her the purple robe and then give her the Ormanor robe. It doesn't really matter too much, but if you want to keep them balanced, that is definitely the way to do it. So we're going to use an Ingress certificate right now, and then we're going to ask her to teleport her to Mizambro, which is going to be this place, and that is how you can actually get around. She's just going to teleport you back and forth. Now we're going to take a nap at the Ferry Inn. It's 250-60 gold to stay here, so that's quite a lot. But, you know, it's fine. We've got the gold now. We've got 57,000 gold right now. And then, once that is done, we're actually going to leave. Now, this is why I said that you have to explore the place again. Look at all the loot we got from that place. Now here we're going to be attacked by a wind octopus. It really doesn't matter that much. Now he does know how to poison everyone, which is mildly annoying, but as long as you just hit him hard enough, that is not going to matter in the long run. Because it's going to die, and then you can just use Fresh Wave. Now at some point Sarah will learn Fresh Tsunami, and then Fresh Tsunami will actually heal all poisoned people and do this. But, you know. So there's nothing here? Huh. Sunset Beach. Okay. So this entire place was apparently completely redundant, which is kind of annoying. Huge waste of my time. And there you see the critical hit from Random, which is just going to annihilate this octopus. So that is what Random can do once you get him to deal critical hits with his new weapons. So let's start and check out the first house, which is this small house here. Cakes are delicious. Okay, that's true. And then the Tangar Mountains, ambushes of all kinds. Yes. So the Tangar Mountains are the place that we actually have to go because we have to cross Tangar in order to get to Sankt Leona. And that is what he's talking about. They're full of ambushes. Okay, well, that sucks because we've got to go there. And otherwise there is no loot in this house, so this house is kind of pointless. Now, we're actually going to be attacked by plain dwarfs. These dwarves hit twice, which is the annoying part. The fact that they hit twice can hurt a lot at times, but like almost every other enemy, Silsvak will quickly deal with them. Now the annoying part is that they're actually dodging the move, which means that they don't take the damage, obviously, and they don't get numbed, which means they can keep using their moves. So you do kind of gotta watch out for that one. Now if we go up here, we will actually see Merthuns, which is the town, and there is the Trout and the Porcupine right here, which is a nice little inn. Now the inn has no loot. There is this witch here, who's going to say that it's a dormitory, which he disagrees with, and then down here there's nothing. So this entire place is pretty much pointless. Do not even try to talk to the kid. He's redundant. So for 80 gold we can actually sleep here, which is kind of a lot, but it's gonna be fine. It's fine. It's not that much. And then if you talk to this guy, he's going to talk about a secret, namely a hidden cave near Mertens. Now, the cave does exist, just in case you were thinking, oh no, it's just going to be a rumor. The cave exists. It's right here. But the Mertens cave is the hardest dungeon in the entire game, so you do not want to go in there. Now you can talk to all these bushes, check all of these bushes out, and eventually you're actually going to be dealt with an ambush. Now I think it's a set location, so I don't think it depends on how many times you check the bushes. I think every single bush has coded in whether or not it's an encounter or not, so don't worry about that one. But yeah, just deal with the lizardmen. I think random still deals decent damage even though they're protecting, so it's fine. And you're gonna find another 1,300 gold, and now Sarah actually learns antidotes right here for 2 mana, so that is good. Now we're going to continue up, and we're gonna meet this church's Gooters. My mission is to warn people of the dangers inside zombies, vampires, and ghosts. We're going to explore this place later, just like a lot of things. That's going to be not for now, because right now we are just exploring these plains, which are going to be the Tangar plains, or at least we're going to call that. We're going to call them that. Now the Balthus cave is protected by a huge golem. That huge golem and the Balthus cave is the actually most difficult dungeon in the game. So I know that I said that the other dungeon is the hardest dungeon, but it's not. Like, the Mertens cave is not a dungeon that you're going to be able to do right now, but you'll probably be able to do it later. But the Atlas cave is definitely the most difficult dungeon in the entire game. Don't even think about it. Now, this place, I don't recall. Oh yeah, okay, it has a tonic tea, which, as I said earlier, is quite a useless item in this game. It's just Mescal in this item, and I think it gets you drunk. I'm not sure. These barrels don't contain anything, so we can just leave. And we're going to be attacked by a hungry lionin. So this is one of the stronger enemies that you're going to encounter, but with a good critical hit, everything is weak. So, you know, that's just how it goes. Now, this is the golem that we were talking about earlier, and then, if you ignore this slime for now, over there is Barandos Damul. Barandos Damul is actually going to be a very tough enemy. You cannot beat him right now, I think. So we're going to stay away from him for now. And that slime that we talked to, so we actually talked to him. He's going to ask if you can find his fiance and bring him back to him. Now his fiance is a girl, a human girl, which is kind of weird, but you know, you can't exactly say no to it. So we're going to look for his fiance. Now, finding his fiance is something that we are not going to be able to do until very, 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 very late into the game. So we don't really have to keep busy with that for now, because we're not going to find her just yet. Now, notably, on the world map, you can't actually egress, so be careful. You have to be ready to heal up at any point on the world map, because egress is not a thing here. Now at some point, Luciana will actually learn a second hit-all spell that is not Fire Tempest, which honestly is really needed, because as you can see, these enemies are actually immune to Fire Tempest. They will take 1 damage from it, and obviously you can't kill enemies with 1 damage. Well, you can, but it just takes quite a while. So as we can see, Luciana is dying again, and that is kind of the bigger issue in this section of the game. Luciana will die so often. It's honestly kind of tedious to deal with every time she dies. But all the way up here is actually a nice location. It's another little shop. Now you can open these boxes, but they're actually closed right now, locked. And this person will beat you at an arm wrestling contest, but you can't win this contest just yet. Now up here is actually a beach. And this beach, now you can explore this beach in full if you want to. But there is not really all that much to be seen. You can go into the water, like on the edge of the water, but that doesn't really do much either. He rests here, that's nice and all for him. You can check these buckets, as I said earlier. You can check the barrels. Sardines, okay. Nothing in there either. Nothing in these 2 upper barrels either. And then you can go up, talk to this woman, I think. You can go up here, watching the sea, and then Dream Beach, hot water, and golden sand. And so Sarah is going to take a bath in the nice water. And then we're finally going to find what we were here for, namely the iced teas. Now you cannot aggress out of this place, but you can just leave manually. And then you can leave through the lower exit, and Sarah will just be back in your party as normal. Now that is basically all that there is to explore on this side of the place. Now this cactus doesn't actually do anything, and talking to Brandis the mule from the behind is not going to do anything either. So that is basically the map on this section. Now there is one more spot, as you might have noticed, down there. And that is where we will be going next, because that will be our next fight. Now after that fight, we will be trying to backtrack to the inn, try to recover our health, because we are getting very low on mana, very low on equipment. We really need to rest up. Now you might have noticed that critical hits in this game are progressively dealing ridiculous damage. That is because critical hits deal damage without the enemy's defense, and these dwarves happen to have pretty high defense. So if you get a critical hit, which I just got 3 of in a row, which is quite rare, that explains why you're actually dealing so much damage with them. Now I'm actually going to use random to heal, because I only need 1 heavy strike anyways. And now if you enter the middle, you're going to be attacked by this, a noble guardian. Now the noble guardian, we're actually going to use random bolts to defeat it, and then power up, and use air cone to sap her mana too. Now you want to hurry up with the mana sapping, because this thing is going to go bonkers on the whole charging up thing. Now use heavy strike just to deal extra damage, and then use Sylph's Fog because that's the last thing that Sarah can do. Air cone, and then Coriol will just attack. Now as you can see, this thing deals a lot of damage with its spells, which is why you want to sap that mana as fast as you can. Now the mana is sapped at this point, which means we're not actually so tonic tea does actually recover health. That's why I was so confused in the beginning. So random is going to recover health. We're going to keep sapping this thing's health for more than before. Fun fact, by the way, if you actually run out of if an enemy runs out of stuff, like runs out of health, you will start sapping more of its health instead of its mana. I think that's what I derive from this anyways. Now, just let Sarah defend. Don't put her in harm's way too much. Luciana can always revive her if it's truly necessary, but unless you're really being careless with it, it shouldn't be too necessary. Now, the Astonishing Strikes will help a lot, and the Paralysis spell will not be dealing any damage apparently. So do not use that, but you can use Beef Freeze, I think. I think Beef Freeze deals a lot more damage. 51, so that's still not a lot. So defend, air cone, and then attack. So please, not Luciana. Thank you. Luciana is going to sap health, and she's going to recover even more of her health. Now Sarah is looking pretty bad, because she is actually quite low on health right now. So we're going to throw some sandwiches to try to recover some health on her. We really do not have healing items, or at least not as many as we should have at this stage in the game. We're kind of low on those. So try to always have some healing items with you, even if it's just sandwiches. You can see how useful it is when you fight only one enemy. Because now instead of cowering in fear, Sarah can actually deal some extra damage to this boss. Well, it's not a boss technically, it's just a random encounter. But judging by the damage it does and how strong it is, it actually definitely qualifies as a boss. Now you might be noticing that it's actually progressively getting harder, and this thing is starting to hit twice. That's very normal. It will start hitting twice as soon as it gets below a certain threshold, which is quite annoying because it will start to deal actual legitimate high damage. But as long as you manage to kind of get the damage in that you want to get in. Now this is where you start making predictive plays, right? You can only revive one character at a time. But what you can do, if Sarah dies, Coriol can throw this feather. And if Coriol dies, well, then the feather isn't thrown, because obviously Coriol wasn't dead. Was dead when he tried to throw the... So that is how you can be a bit predictive about what to use and what item to throw. Now, as you can see, another important thing is, you can use Phoenix Feather on Luciana, even though Luciana isn't dead. And then, that is a way to safeguard that she doesn't die. Because Luciana is quite important for this battle. You can't really win this without Luciana. Now notably, random has not been hit a single time, which is actually quite surprising. and he only takes 1 damage from this thing anyways. So this entire fight was quite difficult, but in the end it didn't really matter, because in the end it still only dealt 1 damage. Golden Wave Armor. So this Golden Wave Armor is very good armor for random, even better armor than the previous one. And this is where we're going to use that teleport spell that I was talking about earlier. We're going to go to the Rillian Plains, go down here, and we're just going to heal up a little bit. Now I know that this is a very tedious process, because now you're going to have to walk all the way back to Chantrellis. You're going to have to proceed again, and then you're going to have to teleport back and walk all the way back. But this is the quickest way. In a little bit, we have 60,000 gold. In a little bit, we're going to be able to actually place a new teleport location. And from there on out, we'll be able to actually teleport to that spot. But it's not really all that different. So we're all the way back at Mizambro, or however you pronounce that. And we're back at the bottom here. So now that we've actually explored most things, this was the right section. Now we're going to explore the left section of this place real quick. Now, as I said, this is a place with a husband and a wife. The wife doesn't really get a voice here. So this is a very male-dominant society, as you notice. That's actually kind of annoying to see, but it's how it is in this medieval setting world. It's kind of a medieval world, obviously. I think that much was obvious. Now here you'll find the Path to Glory, which is the save point. Now I actually saved here early. I didn't save her yet, but this is the save point. I don't know how much it costs. It doesn't cost anything, I think. So you're going to be able to save, and it's the only save point in the plains. That is correct. Now up here you'll find Dan the Bread Cooker, and Dan the Bread Cooker is, well, exactly as the name implies, he sells bread. Now you can actually buy this bread if you really want to buy bread, and you'll have healing items aplenty for a while. And then you'll find 3 more breads in that chest, but obviously we don't have the ability to carry them. So if you're cheap, you might actually buy 3 less breads. It really doesn't matter. Now these wild enemies are actually really nice, because they actually have a chance of dropping Phoenix Feathers. So what I did in my last time that I tried to play this game was actually grind down the plains and try to level up a lot, and use these Wolfen Rogues to get Phoenix Feathers from them. Now, the grind for Phoenix Feathers from these things is so insanely long and tedious that I actually stopped doing it, because I wasn't that interested in the feathers, especially since 2 of your characters are actually able to heal up at any point, revive people at any point. There is no point. Now we're going to heal up one more time, and then we're actually going to finish up exploring so that we can end this video and maybe continue to the next one, you know. But for now we're going to go and explore the upper side. Now all of these places, I'm just telling you, don't go here, don't go here, don't go here. I know it sounds a bit tedious, but really you don't want to do any of this yet. Now this has to the left here, you can't actually go in yet, but you can talk to this lion, and it's actually going to attack us. Now it's a lair of lions, these lionines, and at first they're going to be surprised that you're actually attacking them. Now don't bother using any kind of boasting skills, because this is a consecutive fight, but that means that like the fight will end and then start again. Which means you can't actually bring stat boosts or anything into the next stage of the fight. Now you can use Nereids of Thunder to deal more damage at once. Maybe kill a couple. I don't think you can actually kill. Oh wow, 100 damage on Coriol. That sucks. That was a critical hit, so you know. So the first layer is dead, and the second layer is going to spawn. Now the second layer is exactly the same as the first layer. So these are not any scarier than the previous batch. It is in the next batch that you're going to meet something actually scary. But for now, we're just going to calmly defeat these things. Now what you can do in this kind of fight is you can just rush them instead of actually going to kill them all. You kill all of them but one, and then you leave the last one alive, and then that last one is when you will start actually recovering the health of the rest. So now, okay, most of them are dead. We're not going to use a Phoenix Feather, we're just going to defend, and we're going to use Phoenix Shine to revive Luciana. This thing's going to attack random, which is fine, and then we're going to revive Coriol. Actually no, we're going to use Fresh Wave on Coriol. Regular Wave on Luciana, and then she can use Phoenix Shine on Coriol. And now all our characters are back with us. We can attack. She's going to use Fresh Wave on Coriol, and that's how we can wrap up this fight. Now the reason that I explicitly tried to make sure that we were as close to full health as possible is because in this fight, the Lionine Queen is actually going to appear. Now you want to heavy strike this queen as fast as you can, and just try to deal as much damage as possible. And this is the first time that we're actually going to use Goriola's Bomber X, because it's, as I said, a hit-all attack that is going to be able to deal really good damage to most of these lions. And it's going to be able to shock them, which means that they're going to skip a turn. Now, obviously, some of them are already going to die, so that's how much you have to worry about it. But, you know, it's better to not have to worry about anything rather than just be like, oh, okay, it's not that dangerous. Which is why I decided to go for it anyways. Now the Lion-in Queen is also going to die, and the Water Beam is going to finish off the last Lion-in. Which means we're going to find... And Sarah is actually going to learn Teleport too now, which is quite nice. There is actually nothing here, which kind of sucks. Like, after a fight like that, you kind of hope for loot, but the experience is going to be good enough. Now down here is a little place. This is a house with a Lionine in the other room. Yeah, blah blah blah. Now, this thing is actually not going to be dangerous. It's a taint Lionine. Now you can check these barrels if you want to. It's going to contain a Dwarven maze, but I don't know if you've noticed, but none of them actually use mazes. And in fact, it's not even right there. It's going to be all the way at the bottom. So, not really too useful right now. Now, if you go to the left, you'll see another house, and this is actually Minotaur's house. And this is where you're going to get the quest to actually clean out Dorado's influence, which is down this cave. That is something that we cannot do right now. That takes way too long. Now we can go up here, and this place is a store, you know. It sells trouts, and trouts are something. I recommend you just buy 99 of them, and then buy as many as possible of these whales too. Now you won't be able to buy... You need to have at least 10k left, so buy 64 of them, like I did just now or something. Just make sure you have 10k left and then some spare money in case you want to buy something later on. Then we're going to want to go to this place, and this is the last place that we're actually going to visit right now, because we are going to ask him to set up a teleport spot. So now we can officially teleport into this place through the teleport spells. And that is basically what we wanted to achieve. Now up here there is another save point, even though that guy said that there wasn't. There is another save point here, which means we can save our journey right here, right now. And that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. This video was a little bit longer than the others, but I enjoyed recording it. And I know, since there wasn't that much content in it, story-wise, that it's not that bad. It's a bit longer, so that at least you got to see what's on the left side. And we can stop exploring in the next video and actually start doing these dungeons, start doing these quests. So, thank you all for watching. Stay on the dark side. Leave a like, leave a comment, please subscribe. You know, all the usual stuff. See you later.